Welcome to another episode of the Delayed Gratification Podcast, where we talk about building wealth and what it takes. Today, I got some heat for y'all in the logistics industry. I got my man Box Truck Shawty on here. Listen, man, thank you for joining us. Can you introduce yourself, brother?
Hey, how you doing, bro? I'm Jabar Williams. I go by the name of Box Truck Shawty.
Yep. I said it right though.
Yep,
you said it proper. You said it properly, man. I'm from the South, so Box Truck Shawty.
Box Truck Shawty.
Where does that come from?
To be honest with you, it just came like it was started off as a joke. To be honest with you, you know, have you heard of the rapper OJ the Juice Man?
Yes.
He used to have like a whole bunch of skits called wherever a person was at, he would call them Shawty, like Waffle House Shawty. You know what I'm saying? Racetrack Shawty. And then one day I was just thinking of a name that could be kind of funny. Yeah. And then Box Truck, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be Box Truck Shawty, just as a gimmick, like a joke. And it just started popping after that.
How long have you been in the industry?
Since January of 2021, 2 years actually.
For real?
Yep. And the 20th or 21st or something of this month, it'll be 2 years.
What got you here?
Man, grinding. I did everything. Then been through, went to school, did everything, you know what I'm saying, the right way, but I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So logistics just kind of fell in my lap. It ain't my passion, but I'm like a business-minded person. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, as like some people say.
So when you say serial entrepreneur, you said 2 years ago you got into this box truck industry. Yeah. What were you doing prior to that? I
was working a 9-to-5 and I was doing real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. I jumped into real estate.
That's my thing.
I know that's your thing. Yeah, that's my passion.
What were you doing in real estate?
Fixing flips and wholesaling.
Here?
In Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you still doing it?
Nah. When the pandemic hit and everything kind of slowed down, the market, nobody was getting evicted, nobody was moving, the prices of houses went up, building material went up, so I kind of got up. I said the last house I flipped was in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. But
are you going to get back in?
Most definitely.
Okay.
That's my goal for this year here.
Get back into it.
Definitely.
What does that look like though? Because again, what do you want to do? You say it's your passion. What do you want to do in real estate?
I want to do some more buy and hold now. Because the first ones I flipped, like we don't know no better. You get that quick money and it's like, man, you can make $100,000 for your first house or, flipping houses. But that kind of day is I don't know if it still exists. But doing that, I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I can get out of my 9-to-5. And then when the pandemic hit, it kind of everything slowed down. So it's like, man, now I got to stay at work. So then that's how I kind of jumped into logistics. But I still want to get back into, fixing flips. But I want to hold them this time.
You want to hold
the bird strategy, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the job though. So you were fixing and flipping, but you still had a job.
Yeah, 9-to-5. Yep.
Why?
Scared to leave. Fair, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Fair because I don't have no parents. My mom's dead. My dad's dead. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? And my kids. So that fair. Like I always tell people, like if you got parents or somebody to help you, it's like I look at it as like walking. You would see the circus when you see somebody walking across the tightrope.
Yeah.
If there's a net down there, you could do tricks, jump on the bike, play with the bear. You can fit in the net. But if I fall, I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Or gone. So I always knew I was one step from being. I could be homeless if I lose it or like nobody to call. So with that being said, I just stayed at a job. You know what I'm saying? I worked there for 16 years.
For real?
Yeah.
And when did you quit the job?
Last year.
You retired. You just walked
retired. Yeah. And I was making good money still from logistics, but I still that fear, like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if just a good time? You know what I'm saying? Like that fear of like, what if it all comes to an end one day? And you always just thinking like it's gonna come to an end. And then I was like, you know what? It ain't gonna come to an end. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stop thinking that. And I had to, jump out there. So
when the pandemic hit, you had flipped a couple houses, you were on your job, and at that time you had been on the job for 14, 15 years. Yeah, so you were living decent.
Right.
What got you into the logistics?
When the pandemic hit and then, the real estate stopped, I went through a divorce too in 2019 where I lost everything. Got wiped out. It was expensive, very expensive, divorce. But in 2019, I needed something that was more, of course, no industry is recession proof. But when we say recession proof, we talking about no matter what happens, it can still stay afloat. Like when the pandemic hit, supplies still got to go. And then everybody was ordering stuff offline. So no matter if there's a war, no matter what, trucks are going to be moving. So that's what made me get into logistics. And I always wanted to get into it, but I was always too afraid to get into like the trucks. Like every time I would think about investing in, a big rig, somebody said, oh man, you don't want to get into that, man. It's 20,000 or I lost everything with it. I was like, man, this ain't for me. So it always scared me back on the porch.
But that's everything. Anytime, whether it be real estate, whether it be logistics, whether it be somebody can be like, nah, man, this ain't the time.
It is, but what I think the difference was, because I heard the same thing about real estate. The difference was logistics wasn't my passion. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Like because I know if anything happens, I'm not gonna go jump in the truck. That ain't me. I don't want to get a CDL. I don't want to drive across the road. Real estate, I watched every show. I became obsessed with it. Like I became addicted to it. That's all I was watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like if something happened, I could figure it out.
Yeah.
With trucks, I felt like I couldn't figure it out. But especially with a CDL truck, a big rig.
Yeah, because you got to jump in it.
Yeah, man. I don't want to go. I can barely drive a car. I'm like, I'm honestly, I'm like, I don't see how people drive 18-wheelers.
Yeah. So you figured out did you know anybody in the industry?
Nobody. I mean, I knew people that like here and there that had trucks, or this person has trucks, Chuck got trucks, you know what I'm saying? And then the guy who introduced me to it, he had three semis. Okay. And then I was going to get into that. He's like, man, no, box trucks is the future. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, when these trucks break down, he got two of them that was sitting, one was on the road. And he was like, it's way cheaper to get in on the box trucks, non-CDL, easy to find a driver. And I was like, okay. And then he showed me how to get in the rental way. And that's what, like, okay, you mean to tell me I can get into a business for under $5,000?
What do you mean the rental way?
Jump into it with, started my whole contract with Amazon, but instead of purchasing the truck, everybody don't have credit or the cash to buy a truck. And box trucks ain't cheap to fix either. So renting, I could start off renting a truck from Ryder, Budget, Penske, and get into the game. So I don't have to own it. You know what I'm saying? I can make money off of it without owning it.
So you're saying I can, today, no matter what my credit is like, go and rent a truck, and start the way you teach us to start.
Yes, with no ownership, man.
No ownership.
No ownership.
No CDLs.
No CDLs.
It's just like driving a regular car.
Driving a regular car. You got a regular license, you could drive a box truck, and your drivers are home every day.
And that's one of the biggest challenges when we start talking about the semis.
They leave them trucks. They get mad. They leave them. Like everybody who has a semi can tell you a story that they had to fly to Texas or send somebody to get their truck. Yeah. Drivers get mad. They quit. They leave the truck wherever they, you know what I'm saying, them CDLs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I've heard, both, you hear the pros and cons of both, right? But the way you present it, man, that's why I want to have this, we got to have this conversation.
Gotcha.
So, you jumped in, you bought a truck. You went and rented a truck.
No, I rented a truck. I'm still renting to today.
All your trucks?
All my trucks.
How many is all?
5.
At $1 million a week a piece?
No, not $1 million. Man, I had $1 million. I'll be on an island somewhere.
So, but you rent your trucks. Why do you rent your trucks instead of buying them?
Because of the ownership. Like, say, for example, I look at it like this. When I came into the business, like, when you're not in something, sometimes you can see things like, like little things that other people don't look because they so narrow-minded. That's all they've been doing. So I looked at it like this. I looked at Uber. I looked at Turo. I looked at Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? Controlling something without owning your cost of ownership. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been taught all our life to own. Yeah, owning real estate and owning property, something that, an asset. Or asset versus something that loses money, a depreciating asset. Is different. So when people go out and buy box trucks, they don't understand like that truck. When that truck break, it ain't $300 to put alternate on it. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about $10,000 to $15,000. So I was like, if I can control something, make a little bit of money without the maintenance, that's all I want. I don't need to be like. Of course, I would like to be filthy rich, but even the people that own trucks, by the time they break down that maintenance for that truck through the year, same thing I'm making.
So when you rent it, you don't have to do any maintenance.
No maintenance.
Zero.
Only thing you pay for is if you damage that truck.
Okay.
If you wreck it, you run it off a cliff, then it's a $1,500, deductible, right?
But that's it.
But that's it. No tires, no brakes, no nothing. And that's what, when I first started, I started doing consultation like maybe June of 2021 it was. And everybody who was buying trucks, first truck breakdown, think about it. If you spending your last on a truck, your truck breakdown is $10,000, you out the game. Yeah. Same thing with like flipping houses. If you spend all your money putting the money down on a hard money loan and you don't have the money for the first, you know what I'm saying?
Operation. I've been there.
Yeah. So it's the same
I've
thing.
been there.
So I was like, man, I don't want to get left out there like that where a truck, and even a lot of people like now, the money I'm making now, why don't I? Because when I make my money, I don't want, even though I can spend $15,000 to fix a truck, who wants to do that? Well, you don't have to. You see what I'm saying?
So what's the cons of renting?
Cons is a little bit more expensive. And if you're trying to do like over the road stuff, like going far over the road, it ain't going to really work because they're going to eat you up with mileage. So the key is to stay kind of local, don't go too far, and then your drivers are home every day. So that's the benefit.
And drivers love that.
Yeah, they love that.
My kids every single
night. You can make all the money in the world, but if you ain't home to spend it, it's worthless.
Yeah, especially when you got kids.
Yeah, or a girl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we got a lady home.
You rent them, they repair them, normal maintenance, the whole nine. So that takes that headache off of you.
All that
especially when you're not the driver, because you are a owner, but you don't drive.
Right.
So now you want to make sure you don't have to think about any kind of repairs. They just jump in the trucks and they go.
The only time my money leave is when I wanted to leave. I don't have no maintenance, man. So that's how I look at. Because just think about Airbnb. You renting that, you know what I'm saying? The owner of the house, the heater go out. You have to fix it, not Airbnb. Same thing with Turo. Same thing with Uber. Yeah. So I just said, like, you know what? I'm gonna model my scale after them.
Wow. And so in basically 18 months, you've gotten up to 5 trucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I started with 1. 2 weeks in, I think like 2 or 3 weeks in, I got into my second truck and third truck, and I kept 3 trucks for 6 months. Then I scaled up to 8 trucks. Then I scaled back down to 5.
Why?
Just because at that time, the way Amazon was set up, the system, they had this thing called post a truck, right? Mm-hmm. Post a truck is a feature like when you go as post a truck is exactly what it sounds like. You can tell Amazon the time your truck will be available, the time it won't be available, the minimum amount of money you want to make, the minimum you want to make per mile, all of these things, like a new feature. Prior to me, there was that feature didn't really exist. So I was having to book 8 loads for 8 trucks, and I was still working my 9 to 5. It started getting hectic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it started getting real hectic. So I was like, let me scale down. You know what I'm saying? So I scaled down to 5 trucks, and then they came out with that feature. Now it's different. Now I just wake up in the morning, set my poster trucks for my 5 trucks.
So it's easier now.
Yeah, it's easier.
So you only talk about though, like you talk. So you rent the truck, and you talk about Amazon. Mm-hmm. Why Amazon?
Because it's easy. They work with you. Like when you get a truck, you have this thing called an authority. Mm-hmm. A lot of, big businesses ain't going to work with you unless your authority is either 90 to like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? The older your authority ages, the more contracts you can get. No real big business is going to work with you with a new authority besides Amazon. Mm-hmm. First day you get your authority, you can go do contracts with Amazon and go do work with, you know what I'm saying? And
you make money.
Yeah, you can make money.
Like what's money?
It depends on how much money you're trying to make. If you're the driver of it, like for example, for me, I only make like $200, sometimes a little $200 a day. But if you think about it, that's 5 trucks, and that's after all my expenses.
And that's passive.
Yeah, basically. That's passive. That's what I'm saying. So it's not all the money in the world, but if you make $200 a day times 5 trucks, it's $1,000 a day.
$20,000 a month.
No, my truck run 30 days.
Oh, that's right, because they're not your truck, so you.
My truck run 30 days. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Are you all of them?
All of them. Only days. Yeah. And you got to think about it. It's non-CDL. Your drivers are home every day. In logistics, it's almost unheard of to be home. Unless you're doing like not pizza, like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, you driving a truck and you still got a lot of stuff, a lot of work. So they home every day. That's priceless to them too.
Man, you got it to a science already.
Yeah.
So when I see you on social media, when I see you on Instagram, mm-hmm. you like giving out crazy game, mm-hmm. but you're real focused. You say, go rent a truck, mm-hmm. go to Amazon. Mm-hmm. But what about the stuff in between? Do you teach that? Like,
yeah.
Do you teach, like if I come to you to take your course, you teach me what? Like give me the 7 steps.
I teach you everything. I teach you how to get on with Amazon. I've also got like a 2-day training and a 3-day training. Like some people want to drive. Everybody don't want to put a driver in their truck. Some people just want to leave their 9 to 5. And work for themselves. Well, you can still make good money doing that too, instead of, because now you're not paying a driver. So I teach you how to do that. I teach you how to go to Amazon. A lot of people fail showing up to Amazon not prepared. And Amazon is cutthroat. They ain't gonna teach you nothing. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. Amazon rude. Oh, you walk into Amazon, they're gonna be like, the freight is over there. And you gotta learn how to, do it on the app, load your truck, unload your truck, and all of that. So I teach you that. I teach you, and you can go on a 3-day ride along with my drivers where he teach you how to drop off at the post office, how to, navigate through the system. Like from A to Z, I teach you every single thing. Show you how to book good loads.
So that's so give me like the 7 steps. Like if I come to you today, man, I'm working a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. I don't really have a lot of money, but I can go rent a truck. Mm-hmm. My cousin want to drive. Mm-hmm. What's next?
Setting up we're getting your business set up. Get your business name, you get your LLC set up, getting your authority.
Before I go get the truck.
Yeah. These are the things you got to do prior to getting a contract with Amazon.
Okay.
So the first thing is, of course, setting up your LLC. Okay. You set up your LLC. To get your authority takes 21 days. So people tell people it's 30 days to get started if you want to get up and running. So getting your authority set up, and that's like their BOC3, MC number, DOT, all of that, the logisticsy stuff in the background. That take 21 days. Then basically getting your insurance. You got to get, insurance down, the payment. In order for your authority to go active, you have to have commercial insurance. And you have to have Amazon's required insurance, which is a $1 million policy. So
theirs is different than a lot of people, or is it's kind of normal?
To get, just say, for example, you wanted a regular box truck, you just wanted to go do stuff over the road or whatever. You can get in there with a $750,000 policy.
Okay.
But to do Amazon, they want $1 million. And then a lot of the big companies, you're gonna need $1 million anyway.
But they tell you what you're supposed to have. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. So once you get your insurance, then you go get the rental truck. The rental truck is like usually between $1,000 or $1,300 rental deposit. And then from that point, you hit the road. You hit back with me. You either get my ebook I have, or you book a consultation with me, and I walk you through the process of how to book loads. And then I guess I would say the fifth step is actually going on the 2 or 3 day ride along with my driver. Some people don't want to go overnight with the driver. You know what I'm saying? They just want to learn what happens at the facility. So when they learn that, then the next thing is I'll show you how to book loads. We either do a consultation with that, and then they hit the ground running.
We get paid.
They get paid.
You said they get paid every week.
Every week, every Friday, like clockwork.
Directly from Amazon?
Direct deposit.
So I don't need
Factoring company.
Factoring company?
Nope, no factoring. No factoring, no dispatcher.
That's what I'm saying. No dispatcher.
No dispatcher.
Because you do it from your phone.
Yep.
Wow. What's the downside of? Give me. Why would it? Because from what we just talked about, it's a no-brainer. Whether I got a 9 to 5, whether whatever it is, why would I not do this?
To be honest with you, it's kind of like that. You'll be like, I'm an analogy type person. It's kind of like when I see people with an Android phone. It's like, why you have an iPhone? It's like common sense to me. But however, a lot of people just like to go against the grain, and then a lot of people also don't want to learn. Like, they seek, like, for example, influencer like me, they see me about Amazon.
Yes.
They just want to go against the grain, and then sometimes they just don't want to learn. Like, people don't want to put in to learn. You know what I'm saying? The information to learn. They just want you to spoon feed them everything. Now, Amazon, the con of Amazon is if you don't learn how Amazon operates, they will kick you out of the game real easy, because Amazon is different from over the road. Amazon have 4 metrics that they're big on, and that's being on time. Like, if Amazon tell you got to be there at 12 o'clock to pick up, your load, you can't be there at 12:05 scraggling and you hanging out with your boy.
50.
Yeah, you actually need to be there 45 minutes early. My drivers, they're trained to be there 45 minutes early. They have another thing called rejections, which mean when you book a load, if you pick it up. A lot of people will book a load, fall asleep, don't take the load. So to make a long story short, if you don't have discipline when it comes to logistics, I ain't gonna say a lot of people don't, but some people just don't. You ain't gonna fly with Amazon.
So when you say they book a load, they tell you when to pick it up, or you tell them what time you can.
No, so let's say for example, they got 2 parts of a load board, right? They got a spot load board, which means like kind of like a stock market. You can go in there, look, see what pop on the board. If you like that load, you book it. It's yours. Now that's your load. Now, let's say you booked that load for 12 o'clock tonight. Now 12 o'clock come tonight, your truck don't start, your driver sleep, you sleepy, and you don't want to take that load. You have to reject that load. Amazon hate that. That goes against your performance score. Okay. If you have a low performance score, you see the lows last. Does that mean, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what it is.
So when I go, I'm a driver, right? Because I got to look at it 2 ways. If my driver book it and then don't, your driver don't book it, you book it. I book it.
Yeah, I book all my loads.
So let's say I book a load and dude don't answer the phone at 10:35, right? He got to be there. I can go get in the truck.
Yeah, because you non-CDL, right?
Non-CDL.
Yep.
I got to load it, or they load it for me?
You got to load it. It depends. So Amazon in Atlanta, 99% of the loads you loading yourself. But like in the Midwest, let's say for example, Texas and Midwest and up north, they have a lot of Amazon to Amazon. So if it's Amazon to a post office, then you load it yourself. If it's Amazon to another Amazon, then Amazon will load the truck for you.
So I load and unload, really, if I'm talking about, I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that scared me.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. A box truck can only fit 12 pallets. So it ain't, it's just 12 pallets. And they not heavy pallets.
But I put them on
what's the thing called? Pallet jack. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it ain't bad.
Yeah, you can. I don't have female drivers, so you see a bunch of females in there too. So it ain't like no pallet where you know what I'm saying?
Motors and stuff.
Nah, it ain't that heavy. It's just packaging parcels. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So now I got one truck, right? You done taught me the game. Do you have something else that take me to the next level? Like, what is the next level? Because I just keep duplicating it.
Yeah, repeat the same step, scaling. So with a let's say for example with a box truck, if you renting one truck, $200 a night ain't gonna change your life. You know what I'm saying? With one truck, so you got to keep scaling. You get 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks, 5 trucks, and you get as many trucks as you.
You know what's crazy though? $200 a day will change. That's $6,000 a month.
Yeah, the average person. Yeah, it's more than some people working.
That's $72,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And all I need, from what you just said, I need maybe $5,000.
Maybe 5. Yeah, I started for like 3,200, 3,300. But I tell people 5 because if you tell people 32, 33, and it's 35, they're gonna be at your neck. Oh, no, it cost me 35, or it cost me, you know.
So basically $5,000. So you got the deposit on the truck rental, which is you say it's like $1,500.
Yeah.
How much is your truck per month?
It depends on which one you go to. It could be anywhere between $440 a week all the way up to $600. It depends on which carrier you decide to go to.
So maybe $2,500 a month,
right,
at the most,
right.
But
plus your mileage too, though. Then you got to factor in the mileage in there. So it could be, let's say for example, I pay $440 a week, okay, and I pay 12 cents a mile. So let's just say I spend $700, $740 a week with a rental truck, and that's including the rental, you know what I'm saying, price plus the mileage. So let's say $2,800, about $2,800.
So about $2,800 a month plus. My insurance is per truck is.
It depends on what your insurance is based on your driving record. I pay $1,075 per truck.
Okay, so we're at about $4 a month. Then the fuel comes out of.
Well, Amazon pay. Let's say for example on a load, they pay you $625. Each load that you book with them has a fuel surcharge built into it. So let's say if they pay you $625, then $60, $70 of that is fuel in there. So it's built into the load. Okay, if that makes sense.
And what can you do? One load a night?
Well, some people do 2 or 3. I do 1. Because I don't want to overwork my drivers. But in Atlanta, like you got a girl, she do 2 or 3 a night. The shorter the run with Amazon, the more money you can make. So like, let me give you an example. They can have a load, like we did a load the other night. It was 38 miles. It paid $280. Okay. That was literally, was over like in Atlanta. You could be done, then you can go back to the facility and pick up another load and do a second load.
Because you really would need to.
Yeah, if you did a load that's just $300, $280, then you need another load.
Okay.
So the shorter, and let's say the short runs might pay $4 or $5, $6 a mile. Okay. The longer it goes out, the less you're gonna get paid. The same thing with a semi.
So is it still though, like if you're picking them up, because I hear you saying we're picking them up at night most of the time. Can I pick up stuff in the daytime?
You can, but it pay more at nighttime. So every now and then, like during peak season, I'll send my drivers to do daytime loads. But man, that traffic in the daytime, you know, my drivers hate it. They hate it. They'll fuss at me. You know what I'm saying? Be like, man. Because, you know, in Atlanta, it's an hour to get to one side of Atlanta in the daytime, especially if they got to go through the north side.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, you know, somebody that maybe got kids and drop them off in the morning, pick a load up at 8.
Oh, yeah. They got day loads. They got day loads, but they just don't pay as much as nighttime loads.
And so most people stay away from them?
Yeah. Well, no, some people still do them.
Okay.
I just don't mess with them.
Okay. Because you that's the experience, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I got my trucks running. I'm making money. So what's next? Like you made it real simple, man. That's too easy. That make me.
Hey, that's the same thing I thought when I started too. To be honest with you.
I got one for you then. I got a truck. Okay. Right. I think I hit you up about it.
Okay.
And it's been sitting. Like just finding good drivers has been. You know, me and my partners, we were just like, you know, you let the truck sit, but it don't need to sit.
Right.
It's 24-foot lift gate in really good shape. What do I do with something like that? Like
put a driver in it. Put it to Amazon.
So the biggest challenge is finding good drivers.
Well, I can say because your whole company is dependent on your drivers, if that makes sense. Yeah. But it's pretty easy to find a good driver because to be honest with you, when you get on with Amazon, most people that work with you, they're going to want to know how the game work anyway. So they're going to come work with you to try to be like a mentee anyway. And they're going to suck up as much game as they can from you.
So all the people that you hire come from where?
Off of Facebook Marketplace.
You just put it out there. Hey, I need a driver for X truck.
Yeah, or now they come through referrals from my, drivers that I do have. But Facebook Marketplace works like a charm.
Wow, you made this. So now let me start over, man. I want to make sure we clear on this. I'm working a 9 to 5, and I'm barely making it. But I've saved up money. I ain't buying no Christmas presents. I ain't really doing none of that. No, I mean, hey, listen, it's real sacrifice, though, right? So I got $5,000. Tax time just hit. I got another $2,500 in taxes back, right?
Right.
I want to go get me a truck. I go rent my truck. I get I go start my LLC, get my authority, right, which takes about roughly 21 to 30 days. Right. So now I get my insurance. Then I go get my truck.
Right.
Should I have my drivers lined up before then? Do you do drug testing? Like what's the deal with the drivers?
I don't do drug testing with drivers because to be honest with you, in 2022, 2023, everybody can pass a drug test. That's just being real with you. And Amazon don't require us to have one, so I don't really care what they do in their personal life. You know what I'm saying? I only care about their driving record, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. So now I got my driver, and we're rocking and rolling. As the owner, that's what I do. Like in the morning time, I book it on my cell phone. Right. Or laptop or whatever we're looking at. And that's it.
That's it. And they pick up the load. Let's say, for example, how I can give you a day, like how my day work. I work up in the morning. After I used to check my stocks. I don't check them no more because they run your blood pressure up in the morning. But now I just set my poster truck. Anytime I wake up 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, I set my poster truck for that night coming up. about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, my loads usually are filled. My drivers will give me a thumbs up that they receive it. They go pick up the load, repeat the same process the next day.
Every day.
Every day.
$200 times $5,000 a day. That's a heck of a life. It's $300,000 a year, $365. You got to take a couple of days off or whatever.
Right.
And it's on auto.
Autopilot.
So what else are you doing other than that right now?
That's it. I'm about to get back into real estate.
When you getting back into real estate?
Man, ASAP. ASAP.
So again, when you quit your job or when you retire, which one did you quit or you give them
Hey, I retired. That's what I told him. I retired. I left.
So it was somewhere you had been for 15 years. Did you like really retire, like retirement?
No. Just basically resign.
Okay.
Yeah.
This business retired you from that.
Yes.
Why? Why didn't you get both checks?
Well, I'm gonna work now. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I had the point like, you know, if I'm making 30 grand a month, 25 to 30 grand a month, I'm definitely not making that at work. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So it's like, it's time for me to leave.
Quality
Yeah. And when I had enough money stacked up, where I was like, you know, if whatever hit the fans, I could survive, you know what I'm saying, a year or two without working.
If a truck, let's say if I want to take the truck back, is it rental every week rental or is it monthly rental like every week?
Every week.
You just renew it?
Yep. And you don't take it back as long as you have that truck, as long as your card is on file. Only time they call you to bring that truck in is for a PM. And that's about every 3 or 4 months.
What's a PM?
Preventive maintenance.
Okay.
Where they're going to come and, you know, grease the truck, change the gaskets and stuff like that. And that's like once every 3 or 4 months. And I have a system with that too. So when they do call me for that, I'll book a load. And then when my drivers come back in the morning, they'll drop it off, you know, at Ryder. Yeah. And then I'll Uber them home. And then I'll Uber them back. It takes about 8 hours to do the PM. And then later that night, they just go pick up the truck again.
I mean, listen, this is like, I've seen a lot of people talk about semis versus box, you know, box versus semis, but you make it seem like we need a box tomorrow, like a new one. Why wouldn't I not do this? Like, you can be in college doing this.
To be honest with you, man, I don't even understand why either. That's the $1 million question. Well, so many people say the same thing when I do my consultations. Like, man, this is a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that have done it, it's like, this is a no-brainer.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you since past 18 months? Like, has it something happened with a truck, a driver, nobody show up?
I had 3 drivers before don't pick up a load.
And what happens? You just got the rejection?
Rejection, right. Okay. And then every now and then, I'm able to fix rejection. Well, I used to be able to fix rejection, but they kind of stopped that now.
Okay. So you wouldn't go get in the truck yourself?
Nah, I ain't never. I'll be honest with you. I drove a box truck one time from the gas station on Riverdale Road. Man, that thing was bouncing. I was just like, what the hell? How in the world would I drive this truck for, you know what I'm saying, 4 or 5 hours? And, you know, some people like, we still need to learn how to. I was like, no, I don't.
Listen,
I don't need to learn.
I went and got in one of ours one time. I was like, man, I'm going to take it back. And I bounced from North Decatur all the way to Decatur, and I was like, "Yeah, is something wrong with it?"
Yeah, that ain't.
Everybody like they was like, "No, bro, that's how they ride."
Yeah, I'm just like, how is that safe? You know what I'm saying? So it just ain't for me, man.
Yeah,
it ain't me for me. It ain't for me.
We got to get more people. More people. Not enough people know about this.
Right, I agree. And I think that's what is the lack of education. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, like when I first came into the game, it's a battle, just like with Apple with Android. The battle is over the road with a box truck or Amazon. Yeah, you can make more money, you know what I'm saying, going over the road, but you're going to be sleeping in a lodge. You're going to have to pay a dispatcher. If you think about it, let's just say a load is $800-900 over the road. By the time you pay a dispatcher 10%, by the time you pay the factoring 2 to 5%, by the time you pay for a hotel, you made the same exact thing you made after, you know, netting with Amazon. But your drivers is home every day. They happy.
Why are some people still picking over the road? Like, does Amazon run out of?
No, they don't. And Amazon is nationwide. I can tell you why. Lack of information. Like, for example, I'm not going to call no name, but I ran into this guy. He's a big influencer, but he's big, like kind of like, you know, big social media platform, and he does over the road. However, I had a conversation with about a 2-hour conversation with him. And come to find out, he used to like bash Amazon, like just bash it all the time. And I was like, dang, why bro bashing Amazon? So anyway, I sat down when we had a long conversation. And come to find out, he did 3 loads with Amazon, messed up his score, had an F, and had no choice but to go over the road. So he never learned how Amazon operated. And I explained it to him. Now, ironically, guess what? He's getting out of the over the road game.
Coming to Amazon.
I don't know if he's coming to Amazon, but he's getting out of that truck and putting drivers in it. But see, that's the thing about it. So a lot of people is this lack of education why they decide to go over the road. Because like, you got to use common sense. Why would you want to go over the road and be gone all the way from home if you could be home every day? Especially if you're the driver.
So you would never buy a truck?
I'm not saying I would never. I possibly will buy a truck, but it would be a brand new truck, like with a warranty or something on it.
So no used.
No, or a fairly new truck. Put it that way.
As long as you got a warranty.
Yeah, it got to be, because that, man, I got a best friend right now. No lie, his truck has been down since September, and hasn't been because his motor went out. First, the turbo went out in the truck. He had a Hino. The turbo went out in the truck. Some other part went out in the truck, and then now he have to get the whole motor. They got to do like some kind of swap from a different kind of motor to the truck. And the truck been sitting, and you want me to tell you a crazy story? This story is like far-fetched. So the guy called him 2 weeks ago, tell him, hey, your truck is going to be ready on Friday. He's all excited. Now, he had started working for another lady, driving trucks. Come to find out, he quit his job, went to go pick up his truck, and they couldn't find his truck. So he went to the back of the lot. He saw his truck where they dropped it off at like 2-3 months ago. Come to find out, it was 2 Hino trucks on the lot. They pulled the wrong truck and put his motor that he paid for in the wrong truck.
So how they gonna fix that?
They guess what? The guy who couldn't find his truck ended up reporting the truck stolen. All along, the truck was at a second shop getting the motor put in. So he's been out of work. So now he's still got downtime because they got to take the motor out the stolen truck. Well, not stolen, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Other truck and put in his truck. But I just told him, man, like, you should have went the rental route. Even if you own a truck. So a lot of people don't understand. If you own a truck, you still can rent a truck.
So yeah, because when that truck went down, why did he immediately go rent a truck?
Hard head. And that's one of my close friends. This a hard head, man.
Hard head.
Yeah.
What's up, hard head friend?
Yep. Hard head. They gonna watch it. He know what I'm talking about too.
So the difference in, let's say I go buy a brand new truck.
Mm-hmm.
What does a brand new, really good truck cost, and what truck?
Probably right now about like 90 to 100,000. A Hino or a Freightliner.
So then I would, what is that? $1,500 a month, maybe. If it's
probably a little more than that. Probably about close to two, because. With a box truck, I seen people with $1,000 with a $60-something truck. So okay. I would say probably
$1,500 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So you coming out about the same. Just you got to worry about the maintenance.
Right. But if you're in the warranty, then you don't have to. But then the thing about it too is I've seen a lot of people that have a fairly new truck. They do have a warranty, but when that truck break, it's just like I said. It ain't like a car. It ain't like that truck is gonna be fixed next week. That truck could be down for a month. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the parts shortage and stuff like that. And that's the same thing with his truck. Let's say he did have a warranty. Look how long his truck has been down.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Whereas when you're renting a truck, they have this thing where they got a sub contract. Like you got a sub. So within 24 to 48 hours, they'll put you in a backup truck. So that's the good part about that.
So it's really it's still almost a no-brainer. It just, if you want to run that, you want to manage it, you got to get a good driver.
Right, you got to get good driver.
Got a good driver.
Right, and you got to get a good rental rate. Some people, if you just call off the side of the road and just try to go get a rental rate, man, they can. I done seen people pay $1,900 a week for a truck, and I'm like, are y'all crazy?
For a box truck?
Yeah, because if you don't know what kind of accounts to set up, they're gonna knock your head off.
You teach us all of that.
Yeah, I teach you that. Right.
So again, I come to you. I mean, because your IG, man, is very, very great, man.
Thank you.
Say that, right? I come to you and I say, man, I need to make some extra money some kind of way. I'm tired of this, right? Mm-hmm. You show me from A to Z this process. I mean, you just went over it.
A to Z.
By A to Z. What about paperwork and
everything? Paperwork, yep.
What does that cost me?
What you mean?
Like, do you have a course online?
Well, yeah, I got an ebook that's $2.99, the bundle pack, which I'm probably going to discontinue. I was going to discontinue, but man, I get so many people like, man, please don't discontinue, because I like to make money. Don't get me wrong, but I also like to be able to service people that can afford stuff. Like I don't, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm just coming out with a mentorship January, 23rd to be my first mentorship,
okay,
right? And let me tell you, all year everybody like do a mentorship. However, even after talking to Brandon, I was just like, man, I don't feel comfortable charging this kind of money to help people. You know what I'm saying? I felt guilty, but he was like, you know what? It'll work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
people who will appreciate your time or cough it up. However, so that's why I kept my prices. He's like, man, your prices is too cheap. And everybody kept selling me that. But
for the ebook.
Yeah, for the ebook.
Right.
And that's just $2.99. That's everything you pretty much need for Amazon. But I still like to help people. You know what I'm saying? So it's
here's the thing I'll say though about that, man, because I had to learn how to be able to say, you know what, I want to charge more. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be somebody that just does not have it, that can get the ebook, then go get started, make some money, then come back
and get
into the mentorship or pay for a consultation. The people appreciate it. The people that's gonna appreciate it,
right.
Man. So definitely keep that ebook though, because there's some people, man, that maybe they last.
And that's my clientele, man. That's my clientele. Like, man, I get so much, good comments. Like, man, you changed my life. You know what I'm saying? I was at a dead end job, so that I feel is good. And then let me tell you a real story reason why I started charging, because when I was in the real estate, when I started flipping houses, I was helping everybody for free. You know what I'm saying? It was just wasting my time. My kid's mom was like, you know what? You ain't doing that this time. So then I felt guilty even charging. for, you know what I'm saying, helping people in logistics. But
$300, man, listen, that's a pair of Jordans.
Jordan, yeah. I'm a Jordan fanatic. Yeah.
You're a Jordan fanatic?
Yeah.
Look, I tell you a joke the other day, man. My daughter's was at home. She's at college now, but she went back, and so her boyfriend was on the phone with her, FaceTime, and he's buying and sells shoes. And I was like, hey, tell him I got some Mark Wahlberg's Jordan back there in the back. He was like, for real? No, man, he really? Because, you know, I saw him somewhere. I would never pay $30,000, $40,000 for a pair of shoes, but people will pay $30,000 for a pair of shoes. Why?
Man,
versus that truck.
Cause man, I don't know why they would do it, but I wouldn't do it. But yeah, people would do it.
People do it.
Yeah, just for the hype, man. I guess.
Yeah. So let me go back because I want to make sure I'm saying this right. I want to make sure those that are watching it or listening in understand how easy this is, because this is easy.
It is. To be honest with you, it's almost like too good to be true. It's almost like, is this real? You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Amazon is going to change something?
Never. And everybody say that too. Like when I first started, I was like, oh, Amazon gonna get their own trucks. And I was like, once again, people not educated. Why would you go out and buy a fleet of trucks? Now you got to pay for maintenance. Now you got to pay for insurance. You got lawsuits. Why? That's like Uber going and buying all their cars. Why would they do that?
Could.
I mean, they could, yeah. But who would want that headache? You know how much maintenance on trucks is? Maintenance is high. So that's why that'll never happen.
What about their pay scale? Does that change?
Yeah, it fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, we in off peak right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so off peak, the loads ain't as good as it is. This is the slowest time of the year, January to February, to get into logistics.
Okay. Yeah. But if you start now, it's gonna be March anyway.
Yeah.
By the time you get your.
Because remember, I started 2 years ago in January. So I started in the slowest season of all.
You started 2021.
Yep.
Okay.
January.
So that was the year after the pandemic first started, but it was still kind of
we was in the pandemic-ish.
Yeah. So what did that feel like though when you started and you knew we were in a pandemic? You still went out there. What was your mindset though to say, you know what, man, I got a good job and we're in the pandemic? What made you really take that jump though?
Because everybody still was buying stuff online. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Online sales went through the roof because people were still scared to go in stores. Yeah. So online, it was like they didn't miss a beat with the box trucks.
But what made you know you was never going to drive the truck?
After that one time I moved that truck across the street from the gas station. I was at work and I went to go meet my driver and move and put some gas in. I was like, let me check this thing out. Let me see, how it is. Because everybody's like, you need to drive. And then I had helped some other people that started their company. They was driving. I mean, I drove that thing across the street. I was just like, there's no way. It was just too much.
All box trucks.
I only drove one, but from what I had, they bouncy.
So nobody has a box truck that ride like the Rolls Royce?
Nah, I don't think so. I think that's what they think the Rolls Royce is, because it's bouncing and it's that air thing. But I got a friend, she drives semi. She said the semis do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not for me. Yeah. I don't like box trucks, if that makes sense.
So now let me go back to this, man. You are just starting a course, mentorship.
January.
Soon.
Yep.
Right. If you're watching this, make sure you go ahead and go get signed up.
Tap in.
How many people do you think you've helped over the past 2 years?
2 years, man, thousands. I ain't trying to brag or nothing like that, but when it comes to Amazon Relay, I'm pretty much probably the biggest on social media and on YouTube with Amazon Relay. And I done helped thousands of people, even people that didn't buy my, course of guide, because I'm a person that I still respond to DMs. You know what I'm saying? I still take my own consultation calls. So, and that's another thing. Brown's like, man, you still answer your own emails and DMs and stuff like that. So when people do consultations, sometimes they shocked that they're not getting a VA. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody, they get me. Right.
Because now, how much is a consultation?
Only $99 for 30 minutes and $149 for an hour.
For real?
Yeah.
And in 30 minutes, you can give me all the game.
Everything. Yep.
So let me ask you this. Now, I'm not cutting the course out. I'm not cutting anything out. But if I buy the ebook, $300,
right,
it gives me what? What's in the ebook?
Everything you need to know from start to finish. Basically everything that you could probably get in a mentorship, but just in a mentorship, some people need their handheld. They just want you to walk them through the process.
And I need to ask questions. I need to talk to you one time.
Right.
How much is the mentorship going to be?
If you're in a mentorship, then you get to talk to me regardless. Like you get unlimited access. Not gonna say unlimited access.
That's
but
the new course.
No, that's the new the mentorship that started January 23rd.
How much?
That's $5,000.
For how long?
It's a 4-week course, but you have 6 months access to me. Wow. Which you mean you get to be like in my private portal group and ask questions, and you get to be along with the other mentees that come in.
Will you help us Like if I join the mentorship, help me select if I want to go buy a truck or help me like pick the right rider. Do you have a relationship with rider?
Well, I show you how to get your own relationship because my relationship, my account manager won't be, let's just say you was in Texas. My account manager won't be able to help you, but I show you how to set up the same account I have to get the same discounted rate that I have, no matter where you at.
No matter where you at. Mm-hmm. And all of your trucks are in Atlanta.
All of them right now.
So I buy the ebook. Mm-hmm. I book a consultation. Mm-hmm. I go make a little money. Mm-hmm. Then I join the mentorship. Do people understand the mentorship will help us get to that? Because that book may not help me get to 5.
Right. Because right. The mentorship is to like solidify everything, put everything together, like to help you scale. Because you can give somebody something all day. It's their interpretation. They're like, oh, well, I didn't see that. I don't understand that.
Correct.
That mentorship is one of the most important things in the world. To me, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first started, a lot of people think I just Googled this. No, I had a mentor when I first started this. You know what I'm saying? That helped me for like the first 2 or 3 weeks. So mentorship is very important. So
with the mentorship, again, you'll be able to answer my questions, and then we can email you questions that we may have during the week. Or how often are we gonna meet?
We're gonna meet once a week
for 4 weeks.
Yep, for 4 weeks.
And then I got 6 months after that. I get to tap in.
Any questions you need help with, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna make sure you hold your hand to the end.
So what you're telling me is for 10 grand, 10 grand, 5,000 for the mentorship,
right?
5,000 to get my business started, including my truck,
right?
I can conceivably go make $200, $70,000.
Yep, if you get one truck, right?
One truck,
pretty much.
10 grand to make 70,000.
Yep, easy.
That's crazy.
That is.
So let me tell
it should
people,
be illegal.
Right? Let me tell people this. I love real estate. We're not going to do that kind of ROI every single year on every deal. If you're doing it consistently, like if I buy a rental property, I'm not getting, that's a, what is that, 700% return in 1 year on autopilot, passive.
Yeah, passive. Well, I mean, you get passively, because some people say, oh, well, you still got to book the lows. That's, yeah. You got a house, you got a landlord, you still got to collect the, you know what I'm saying?
Check. I got to talk to my property manager.
Right. Yeah. So
now I'm making $70,000 a year passively. I work my job and I make 50. Now I'm making an extra 70 a year. What are you going to invest that extra money? What are you going to invest that extra money in?
You should put it into real estate. That's what I'm about to get into. You should
get back into it.
Definitely getting back into it, man.
Man, I got one question. What does delayed gratification mean to you?
Delayed gratification means sacrificing today for something for tomorrow. Like, for example, I look at my whole life has been delayed gratification, to be honest with you. Like, learning something today that you can't really use today, or you think you can't use it today, but you can use it in the future and it'll be, you know what I'm saying, a lot better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Do me a favor. Tell us, how do we find you? How can we get into this new mentorship, man? Just tell us a little bit about who you are and where you are.
Well, I go by the name, of course, Box Truck Shorty on all platforms. I'm more active on Instagram as Box Truck Shorty. I got a bunch of fake pages out there, but it's just strictly Box Truck Shorty. I'm on YouTube as Box Truck Shorty. On TikTok, I really know how to use TikTok like that, but you know, I'm a little older, so I'm not social media savvy.
You're not that old,
I am, but I'm on social media, all platforms as Box Truck Shorty. My mentorship starts January 23rd this year here. I already got 9, you know what I'm saying, slots filled. I only got 1 slot left.
Wow. And
I don't know if I'm gonna do it every month or every other month. So will be my next class, but you know what I'm saying? You can tap in with me. I can teach you anything you need to know about Amazon Relay. And that's pretty much it. I don't know too many businesses that you can get in for under $5,000 that's legit and legal. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah. Listen, y'all, this has been amazing. Make sure y'all go follow Box Truck Shouty. And I got to say it right. It's Box Truck Shouty. So he properly saying it right.
Box Truck Shouty.
so when y'all looking for it, it's SHAWTY Shouty.
Yep.
Like we said here. Again, this has been another great episode. Thank y'all for joining in, and I'll see y'all on the next episode.
Take care.